pmnation.com.
Welcome to Blunt Force with Giazilla Rawrr and Wade Rawrr, who, incidentally, is MIA. He said he was going to go out and water the front lawn, and then he would come back in and do the podcast with me, but so far, a half an hour has gone by, and I'm not feeling that great. I've had a pretty rough couple of days. I'll get into that in a few minutes. So I kind of want to just get this thing recorded and out to Matt for Thursday night show. Yeah, it's been crappy. I knew that there was going to be probably issues with the move in regard to finding new doctors and specialists, and especially with my medications, particularly Schedule 1 narcotics that I take, and the muscle relaxers that I take. I've had to prove myself to my current doctors, and it hasn't been merry-go-round ride for me at all. So, the thought of changing all of that into the unknown is really scary. And so, my doctors and I agreed that until I am permanently in Sacramento, which won't be until mid-August, that we just leave everything the status quo and not rock the boat, and they were going to work behind the scenes to try to get me transferred over as smoothly as possible, so I had no gaps. And I'm also waiting for an electric wheelchair to be approved. So to move everything to Sacramento would mean I would have to start that process all over, and it's been daunting, and the doctors don't want that for me, and I don't want that for myself. So right now I have dual residency. I'm here sometimes and I'm there sometimes, and it's just the way it's got to be till everybody gets everything squared away. If I stay in Sacramento at all, honestly, the heat here is almost intolerable for the conditions that I have, and so we'll see. But my caregiver didn't understand why I wanted to go back to Santa Cruz a couple days early to get my prescriptions filled there, when he said that he could be doing work here that would make our house ready for us, since he didn't have to be back in Santa Cruz for a few days. And I tried explaining to him, my doctors have advised me to not rock the boat. And so, against my better judgment, I finally, after about the third or fourth discussion of him asking me why, I relented, and I was like, I don't really feel like making that drive. We just got here, now we gotta drive back. So, yeah, whatever. Try to get a courtesy fill here. And so, long story short, the medication was waiting for me in Santa Cruz on Friday. He called on Friday, and they said there's really nothing we can do about it until Monday, and which was fine because I had enough. But I told him that it is a red flag to call your prescriptions in on a Friday. If you guys didn't know that, they'll trip out on that. I guess they think that it's your party night or whatever, but most disabled people don't work, so Friday is no special day to them anyway, you know? I don't know. But that's part of their logic. And so that was kind of a red flag already. And then on Monday, I called to see what we needed to do. And they said you need to have your doctors call us because you're taking benzodiazepine with narcotics, And we need to know that your doctors are all on the same page about this and that you know the risks versus the reward, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, no problem. So I sent my doctors both messages in my in-health messenger deal, and I thought that was going to be the end of it. Well, my main doctor, my primary, who prescribes the Valium, was out on vacation, so she never even saw the notes. And her assistant just messaged me back saying that she would handle it when she got back, which was no big deal to me because I still had some, so I was like, fine. But at my pain management doctor, their idiot medical assistant kept sending my prescription back to Santa Cruz. And so we would call Sacramento and they would say, we haven't heard from him. And then I would call her and say, they haven't heard from you. And she would say, I just called them. All rude. I was trying to confirm with her that she had the right pharmacy and all of that. And she would just say things like, I have to get off so I can call them before I leave. And the second time I called her, I'm like, did you look at the notes? Are you getting the right pharmacy? She was like, I am a professional. So needless to say, I went 3 or 4 days without any pain medications in the blazing sun with a horrible heat and pressure headache that I don't even want to describe. It brought up a lot of confusion and PTSD for me because I was just reliving the dark times before my conditions were fully understood and I was accepted into the medical society as being what I am, a hopeless case without some medication to function. Honestly, I was having suicidal feelings and thoughts and all the other things that come along with this trauma and having to jump through these crazy ass hoops. Client, my caregiver, was able to get the pharmacist to give me a day's supply of medication. So I at least had that last night and today. So today I called my pain management clinic and was like, what's the deal, man? Someone's screwing the pooch over there and I'm suffering from it. So he said, oh, I see what's going on. The Rite Aid where you're at doesn't automatically show up in our system. So she just kept sending it back to Santa Cruz. I said, yeah, because she kept hanging up on me before I could even firm anything with her. And so he said, don't worry about it. I'm going to get it all cleared up and everything's going to be fine. Well, that's not what happened. A little while later, I got a message from Rite Aid in Santa Cruz saying my prescription was ready. One of my prescriptions. And I was like, what the heck? Why is there a prescription in Santa Cruz ready when I'm in Sacramento and she's supposed to be sending it over here? Anyways, long story short, my primary doctor saw the correspondence over the last few days and felt so bad for me. Called it in because she said, I'm not having my patients suffer like this. So then I filed formal complaints, and when that was all done, within 15 minutes, the pain management doctor's office called me, and they were like, no, you don't have to drive all the way back to Santa Cruz if you're not ready to go back, and we're going to get this all straightened out for you. And they actually did. But it was 3 days of misinformation from a variety of doctors' offices and a variety of pharmacies when all the doctor had to do in the first place was call and say, yes, of course we are aware that she's taking this combination. And she is not an opioid naive patient and everything's fine. Mind your own business. You know, these pharmacists, they have way too much power and control over who can get their medications or not. At one point, one of the ladies called me, and then when I called her back, she wasn't there. And then she called me back and had the nerve to ask me what I was calling her about. And I'm like, I'm returning your phone call. Like, are you guys all insane? I said, well, do you know what the other person wanted to talk to you about? And I said, I don't know. At this rate, with the incompetence that I've dealt with, you might want to talk to me about monkey poop. I have no idea what you want to talk to me about. It was outrageous. It was really stressful and outrageous, but the worst part about it, you guys, is the trauma. Because if people who are like me, you know, have very serious, debilitating conditions, are on a plan to where we can at least function. I mean, not, you know, every day sucks. There's no day that's a picnic because I'm very under-medicated, but I do get enough where I can function. And so when you throw a wrench in that in any sort of a way by taking medication away or maybe a flu or some other kind of illness compounds it, it's not fun and brings up a lot of thoughts about why am I even here? Why am I even putting up with this shit? Why am I suffering? And why are they treating me like I'm on parole for being ill? It's frustrating. I've taken for granted the team of doctors that I have and how excellent they are. So we're still facing the change, the permanent move over here, but at least I am fortunate in the way that I have doctors who really understand the seriousness. And, okay, so the next thing that happened was I called the neurosurgeon from Stanford, who I went and saw a year ago, well, March 2018, I was informed today. And our plan at that time was surgery. And I'm not lying, I've called at least 50 times since then to try to get scheduled. I've even asked for another appointment and was told, well, you already have scheduled a surgery on the table, so you don't need to see him again. So I called today and I left a formal complaint there too. And of course, within minutes, I get a call back from the scheduler. And she was like, well, you're probably going to have to do the MRI and stuff over because I can't find it. And I said, no, I'm not doing anything over. Last year I saw him. He sent me for the MRI. He told me when it was done to call him back and schedule. And that's what I've been doing for over a year now. Nothing's changed. If anything, it's gotten worse. He's supposed to call me on Friday. So I'm crossing my fingers that somebody will help me reconstruct my skull, lift my brain back up where it belongs, and kind of control these pressures, fluctuations that I'm having. Okay, that's all there is about me. I am pleasantly surprised to announce Mr. Hall has entered the building.
Well, I was at a safety meeting.
Safety meeting?
Yeah.
Were you doing the safety dance?
There was no dancing, but
What was there?
I wonder how that would look.
You're out there watering the plants?
I was watering plants, and then I got my mind right, Luke.
Right, and then you went and had a cigarette.
I did.
And I see that you have shaved your beard.
I did, because this dad blasted heat.
Dadgummit. Dadgummit.
Right.
Dadnabbit.
All that. All the dads.
How did that ever
Happy
come
Father's
about?
Day, everyone.
How did that come about, dadgummit?
I don't know.
Is that like the nice proper way of saying God damn it?
Maybe so.
I don't know. I guess people are trying.
It's a good Christian way of saying it, I guess.
What did I hear today? They said the little kid, he was like 9, 10, and he swore. Oh, it was in that stupid movie, Us. I'm about to go off on that shit. I'll just start right now. The kid in the movie said some cuss word, and the dad says, are you going to speak that way at the dinner table? And I'm like, what is the difference if he's at the dinner table or if he's in the car or on the couch or...
Where is that?
Where does that come from, Wade?
I don't know.
Did you have different rules for the dinner table?
I don't think, when I was a child, that we really had a dinner table. Now, my grandma did. No.
Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Yeah.
We ate at the dinner table a lot when I was growing up, during the non-drunk times.
Yeah, I don't remember any of those.
During the AA or overly religious moments or overly involved in cult moments or whatever other thing struck his fancy and he was sober.
Right.
So I do remember dinners, but we didn't really have any rules other than make sure your hands and your face weren't dirty. And I had to brush my hair and pull it back. I don't know, that was kind of a weird rule, I guess, but my dad and I both had long hair, and he would do it, and I would do it, and it was just kind of like what you did.
They would put food on my plate, and I had to eat it.
No matter what it was?
Yeah.
That's child abuse.
Yeah, I had to eat it, and there's things that I just didn't like.
Yeah, it's child abuse.
Like, coleslaw. To this day, I still just can't even smell coleslaw. And I like cabbage, and I like creamy dressings. I
Right.
just don't like that combination of it
It's
together. You know what I
disgusting.
mean?
I don't know. I have a theory that people don't really like coleslaw. They don't really like sushi. They don't really like sauerkraut or Brussels sprouts unless maybe they're sauteed. And I don't know if people really like, I mean, I can't say people don't like Indian food because obviously Indian people like Indian food. But I don't know. I think people, they want to be hoity toity.
Yeah.
They want to be trendy. 1 minute it's ciabatta. 1 minute it's we're going to go get pho. Is it pho or is it pho or is it pho? You remember that whole debate?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what was that other one? The Chipotle.
Jeez.
We have these trends. Anyways, coleslaw's gross. I agree with you on that.
Tell you what, I'd choke somebody out for a good chicken fried steak. I was just telling my friend earlier.
The whole reason why Wade calls himself Eric's grandpa was even before Eric and Wade even like really knew or liked each other. I was telling him that my mom's chicken fry was out of this world, Southern style. And he was like, well, I'm going to have to marry that woman. And the sad thing is because Davis killed her, you're never going to get a chicken fry.
I know.
But I know how to do it. I can do it. It can't be that
I mean,
hard.
I can make one, but it ain't.
It's the gravy.
It ain't like the one I want. A lot of it is the gravy.
Got to add that pepper.
You got to get a lot of pepper in there.
That's what she would say. Get that pepper in there. It's funny, I miss her. Okay, yeah, so I did some research because Eric's a very picky eater and he blames himself, or at least he used to be more. I found a video of Neil deGrasse Tyson talking to two other scientists about your pickiness. And there are 3 levels of tasters. So you have non-tasters who can eat just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have middle tasters, which is what I am, where some foods gross you out, but other ones that usually gross people out don't. Like broccoli.
Yeah.
And then you have full-on tasters who, if they taste like broccoli, they use that for an example, it's bitter to them and it really gags them and it's gross. And so now that, we know that kids aren't picky just to be brats, that they really are being repulsed by what you're trying to feed them, and especially kids that have texture issues, it makes them throw up. So to make your kids sit at a table and eat food that literally they're repulsed by,
Yeah.
I believe is child abuse.
I'd have to agree. Tell you what, I'd rather take a punch in the mouth as eat a teaspoon of coleslaw.
Wow, that bad, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't do it.
Well, your parents, totally sucked at their job. We've already established that.
Well, it is what it is.
My mom was just like, I'm making what I'm making, and if you don't like it, you could fix a sandwich or some cereal, or you could, go eat at the neighbors or whatever.
Yeah, our house was pretty much a eat it or do without kind of deal.
Or get punished.
Yeah, thank goodness I had Grandma, right in the front yard.
The buffer.
She would cook it up, and it, just good country food, a pot of beans and
Right.
a pan of cornbread and some fried potatoes or something. But man, that's good stuff.
But it was better than coleslaw for sure.
Get a woman knows how to do all that, boy.
I miss my grandma's taters and beans.
Man, I'm telling you.
It was the stuff. And I miss my Auntie Juanita and my Auntie Irene's homemade flour tortillas and their beans on the stove. Go in their house and no matter when you can eat. It was always there. And they knew how to make the real good tortillas and the tamal and all that.
Oh, man.
Yippers. We did find a restaurant in Sacramento, shout out to El Noviero, that has enchiladas that are like my mom's. It's the only place in the world I've ever seen use the gravy instead of like that cheap red sauce.
Right.
It's more like an orange like gravy.
Oh.
So good.
Oh, they put that on my burrito. That was good.
We'll have to go check that place out. Get it itchy nagla.
I don't even know what that is, but I want a couple.
Scratchy butt.
Oh. Maybe I don't then.
Or actually like an itchy butt.
Well, I walked right into that.
Pinworms.
Damn. Great. Just be out there dragging my ass across the yard.
Boot scoot boogie.
Like no dog.
Here we goes, you dose. He's got to boot scoot boogie. Hey, in Jane Beck Santa Cruz today, they found 2 ounces of drugs, tobacco, syringes, and what else?
Oh, it was like
some Suboxone. And so, this guy that was checking himself into jail up his prison wallet.
it was like heroin and meth and syringes and
Tobacco,
just the whole.
Suboxone, and some weed, I think.
Oh man,
I mean, how big is your booty, fool?
what are you doing? I mean,
It's insane. And somebody made the comment like, "Oh, these poor sheriffs that have to do that, to go in and look for it." And I was like, that was definitely a fork haul,
oh man.
And then somebody said something about a prison wallet, and I was like, yeah, our prison purse. And I said he's taking the term fanny pack too literally. And then some ladies, they should make the dogs search it out. And I was like, ferrets need jobs.
Damn. No.
I know he's a wealthy man if he gets away with it. But what's the practice?
I hired me a mule one time.
What? You hired you a mule?
I had to.
I didn't know if you said I heard me a meal.
No.
Or I hired me a mule.
Yeah, I hired a mule, prison mule. I was in.
You smoked butt weed?
I'll tell you what happened.
Oh, Wade smoked. # Wade smokes butt crack weed.
Ass hash.
Ass hash begash.
No, I'll tell you what happened to me. I just got an ounce of weed into prison.
Alright, Space Cowboy.
And I'm sitting there and I'm just got it all broke down into, increments to sell and whatever. And a fucking tornado hits this penal institution. And fuck shit up, man. We can't stay there, you know what I mean?
That bad, huh?
It's the motor pool's gone, central control's all fucked up.
And your first concern is, what am I going to do about my weed?
I have to figure out what to do about this weed after seriously, we're all packed up in a bathroom. This place was an old motel and it's set up on top of a hill.
How much you gotta love weed that not only do you go to prison for it, but you risk staying in prison longer for it.
Well, you gotta get through there.
Mary Jane.
You gotta get through there, Gia.
I'm a toker.
But,
he's a midnight stroker.
Yeah, I had this ounce of weed and I had to pay a guy. We went and actually, they stuck us in a women's prison. I'm one of like 120 or 30 guys that actually did time at a women's prison in Oklahoma.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was sitting empty.
Did you see any girls?
No, it was empty.
Yeah.
And, but Mabel Bassett, I was there. That's the name of it.
So you hired a mule.
Yeah, it cost me $20.
He did it?
To get this guy to keister an ounce and stay close to me. Because we didn't know. There was no protocol for this.
So how does one go about asking for this service?
I had a friend that that knew a guy.
Oh my God.
Kind of a deal, really.
Yeah, this conversation's taken a...
but that's what it cost me back then to get an ounce of weed.
Interesting twist.
Trafficked.
And you got it through?
Yep, got it through. I got it through. We get over there. And I'm a nervous wreck because, we've almost all been killed. You know what I mean? Seriously. By this fucking tornado. It's life and death shit, man.
But you're worried about your weed.
Well, I have this to worry about after the tornado is over. Because shit's fucked up and I know we're not staying there and what are they going to do? And I don't want to shove it up my ass.
Ew.
But I don't want to lose,
It was a whole ounce?
Yeah.
He put a whole ounce up his booty hole. and
Sure
weed.
did. Sure did.
Like buds or like brick? Where you could like chop ramen and squish it.
Well, it was. I mean, it was buds, and then I chopped it up and broke it into benders.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it was buds until it was booty pressed.
Until we put it in the grinder.
They need to hire that guy at Starbucks and save on electricity. Just grind them beans.
Jesus, man. No, I'll tell you what happened. We got over there, and like I say, we just damn near been killed and shit. So I'm a nervous fucking wreck.
Like, what do you mean you almost were killed?
I mean, this tornado just tore everything around us, but where we were up.
Okay, so how did you almost get killed? It didn't hit you.
It just, I mean, it came right through there, and it hopped right up over the buildings. But it tore the kitchen up.
But did it tear a hole in the wall and a fence?
It lifted the end of it. It was an old motel.
Nobody could escape.
It wasn't really a fence. It was a work center. We were at a work center by this time.
So you were in a motel.
Yeah, it was an old motel
like an honor camp kind of deal.
Turned into a work center where they put you out in the community and get you picking up trash or
right, and you get to stay in the hotel rooms instead of cells.
Yeah, it's a hotel room.
An honor camp.
There's 6 of you crammed up in there. It's at the end of your sentence.
And you got to be back by a certain hour. Or
yeah, they take you out.
Oh,
It's them.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Wow, prison sounds pretty shitty.
But so we get over there.
I heard there's some shitty weed in prison weed.
So we get over there, and I'm a nervous wreck. Seriously. So I go in the bathroom, roll up a big old fat joint, man. They fucking, and I take this fucker to the head, man. I'm, smoke a big old fat joint and shit. And then here they come, bringing another run of people in there, man. I thought they had the whole place. We thought they would put some over there and some over there.
You didn't even wait a minute.
No, didn't even wait a minute, and they just let it go, man. It was the best time to sell weed in prison I ever had because all the testing shit was fucked.
Right, they couldn't do that.
They couldn't test anybody.
Well, thank God for natural disasters.
Yeah, it was an interesting, unique
Do
little
you feel
deal
guilty about smoking butt weed?
Well, it was thoroughly wrapped, Gia, in several layers of
it was still there, though.
Plastics.
David did like a little bit of the county jail, nothing too major.
Yeah.
Just for being stupid when he was younger.
Right.
And he always jokes and laughs about smoking a butt joint. And I'm just like, you guys, ugh. I couldn't do it. You know me, I'm too much of a weed connoisseur. I don't want ass weed.
I don't know. After about 3 years in there, you're like, fuck it, let me hit that ass weed, I guess.
I'd take an ass Diet Coke. If you could get a Diet Coke up your booty hole, then, you might have a future in porn.
Damn.
Alright, I want to talk about this shitty movie, Us.
So, Jordan Peele's new movie, or no, not his newest movie, but the one that kind of put him on the map a little bit.
They shot this thing in my city, Santa Cruz, California.
I heard it was good.
Who?
I just heard, I read some reviews on it.
How could anybody think that this pile of crap is good? There's more holes in it than Swiss cheese, especially in their little end plot twist. So many holes in it. If you look at it and you think back on the movie, you go, it's not possible for so many reasons.
Well, I don't want you to ruin it, per se.
I'm not going to.
Don't give us any spoilers.
I'm not going to. I'm just saying it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. The acting, I will say they did a good job casting it. So that's a plus. A negative is the dialogue was
atrocious.
There was a lot of racism in there against white people. And somebody, when I made a comment about and something else I saw that was racist. Well, let me explain. Like in this film, there's a scene where they're in peril and they don't want someone to get in their house, and there's a hide-a-key kind of a thing.
Right.
And the person they don't want to get in the house finds it, And the father says to the wife, Heideki, what's that white, that fucking white shit.
Mm.
Like only white people have Heideki. Not only is that racist against white people, that's also racist against black people.
It's just
And
racist.
Everybody else. And so I had someone jump my ass the other day and get all cocky about it. And they're like, oh, now that people of color are finally coming out against you whites, yeah, calling me you whites, now you guys are getting all up in arms. And I'm like, okay, number one, you calling me you whites and saying you guys is the same thing as if I said you people, which is completely offensive. So don't lump me into this category of where I am me against you or us against them.
Right,
because I am a human being and I see all human beings as my fellow human beings. And it's your sickness that sees everybody as being divided into groups.
Right.
That's your sickness, dude. Don't put that on me. Don't do it. And I don't care. That Mencia dude. Is Carlos Mencia?
I believe it is, yeah.
I stopped watching him after about 10 minutes because his whole shtick was racist against white people and other races. And if that's how you think you want to get a cheap joke by being a racist asshole, you're fine. But isn't there, there's funnier things to talk about in life?
It's really some low-hanging fruit, man.
It's gotta stop.
It's not. I mean, it's not that funny. It's really not.
It's not. And also stereotyping your own race. And then getting pissed off when other people do it. They hear you do it, and then they do it, and then you get pissed off. And I don't care what race you are. I just found this movie to be racist in some ways, and I mean, I was already kind of going into it with that thought because he had made that statement that he would not hire a white male lead because he's already seen that done too many times. Bro, it's your film. You could do whatever you want. But what do you mean this white people shit? I had a foster kid once, and I cooked dinner, and he called it white people food. And I was like, and everyone thinks that white people are the only racist people out there? I mean, come on, let's all be honest with each other.
Right.
Let's all be honest. And no, I am not offended because I am on one side and now I'm being attacked. People have been calling white people honkies. Right. And getting away with it. There's more comedy, the anti-white comedy and anti-white rhetoric nowadays than ever before. And it's a double standard. And I don't claim to be a white person. I am, a multi-ethnic person. And so, no, I don't have a pony in the race. It doesn't offend me. What offends me is that we're continuing to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't super offend me either. It's just kind of a waste to me. I used to kind of think some of that was funny, and now I just don't.
It's just keeping the hate and the division alive.
I'm just over it.
You don't have to make your mark in life by tearing down other people no matter who they are. Take your shot at the star, but don't climb on a bunch of people to get there. And also don't associate me with these rich white male slave owner motherfuckers. I never benefited from any of their bullshit. If anything, it's made my life harder because people look at my skin and go, oh, she's one of them. You know what I mean?
I never saw any white privilege.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to say, well, you don't get, you get to go into the store without being spied on. That's white privilege. That's not true. Try going into a store in Chinatown in San Francisco and not being followed around if you're white. Hey, it's true.
Right.
So in that situation, it's not completely true. And then someone might say, well, you've never, been called a racial slur or been discriminated against a job because you're white, male.
I don't know. Maybe not because of the color of my skin, but certainly, the length of my hair or the fact that I have tattoos I've been discriminated against for any number of reasons.
I mean, white privilege is a thing. Don't get me wrong. You know, I used to tell my ex-boyfriend he would get in trouble and with the cops, and they would just let him go, and I would be all, "Oh yeah, put your white suit on, your white guy suit, and get
Right.
out of it." But he was like rich, white, good-looking, frat boy kind of guy, athlete. So he got away with a lot more than
Right.
anybody else would. You know, it was like, and this isn't even a race thing. This is a gender thing. So on Take Back Santa Cruz today, there was a picture of a girl who was caught with 2 sets of power tools. Now, there's a lot of people, construction guys in Santa Cruz, that have been getting their tools ripped off lately. They can't go to work to make a living when
Right.
these people do this to them. But because this was a female who was young, and people were making comments like, "Oh, she could be so pretty too." To me, she looked like a drugged out zombie. And I'm like, she's a thief, no matter what she looks like. And there was so much of, oh, she just needs God's healing hands wrapped around her, and oh, she looks like she needs to eat, and she needs to, go to jail, and maybe that'll sober her up. And other people were like, she's gonna be out smoking crack tomorrow. Like, come on, you guys, stop kidding yourselves.
Right.
But I wrote, if this was a 6'4" man of any race, would you be so empathetic toward him?
Right.
Oh, I said smirking at the camera because that's what she was doing. I said if this was a guy, a big dude smirking at the camera, or any guy really, would you be so sympathetic? No.
Probably not.
No, they would be like, well, here's another scumbag tweaker,
Yeah,
blah, blah,
there's
blah.
another guilty scumbag.
I said she's still a thief no matter what, and there are still programs out there that she can get help from if she wanted it. Putting her in jail is not going to solve the problem. Putting her into rehab and making her stay there until she got the picture, that's the solution.
Right.
You know?
I don't know, man. They say those rehabs don't work.
Well, yeah, because they're not designed to work. They're designed to make money.
Right.
They want repeat customers.
They get them too.
Oh, yeah, because people try, man.
That is I read somewhere that that's the most successful business for the return rate.
This is why,
You
yes.
know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, do they have a 2% success rate or some shit? And they're
Yes.
just everywhere.
This is why
Fuck.
Andrew Kolodny and the guys from PROP, the Physicians for Responsible Opioid Prescribing, are all on the Suboxone bandwagon. Because they either, like Kolodny himself was a partner in Phoenix House. This guy's a psychiatrist. He's not even an actual addictionologist or even really a doctor
Right.
of the body. They all want everybody on Suboxone, and they're opening up all of these rehab facilities. So it's going from pain management to rehabilitation, and the patients, they're trying to get them all, they tried that with me, and I almost had a heart attack because it increased the pressures in my brain. But, you're willing to go along with anything when you're in that much pain.
Right.
They sacrifice us so that they can open these treatment centers. They want everybody on Suboxone, which is not a pain medication. So you're right. It's very, very profitable. And there's repeat business. And like I've said in the past, if a girl's going to go prostitute herself to get her heroin fix to keep herself well, then she's still, and she's on methadone, she still has to go out and prostitute herself to come pay you your $60 daily fee.
Right.
So you're not helping her.
I see these things
You're
all
just
the time.
switching the drugs.
I see these things all the time that say, what is it? How come my insulin cost X amount of dollars when methadone is free to have it?
It's not
It is
free.
not free to have it.
People who think that are
They
ridiculously
just don't.
ignorant.
They're ignorant of the fact that it's not free to those people. They have to pay for that, and it's not cheap.
And they probably have to pay more than you have to pay for your insulin, because insurance covers insulin, and a lot of insurances, at this point, won't cover methadone treatment if it's for addiction.
Right.
Now, the one good thing that these prop people are trying to do is to get it covered by insurance for for everyone, but that's because they've got their hand in the cookie jar.
Right.
Right. So it's not free, and you have to show up every day, and you have to be on time. And if you're late, you don't get your medication. And if you piss dirty because you make a mistake, they kick you out of the program.
Right.
It's not designed for success. It's designed for failure.
Yeah, you're at their beck and call. It's like being on parole or something.
That's how pain management has become.
They can just UA you at will.
Yeah.
And kick you out of the program at will.
Yeah.
And deny you your medication at will. Well, what the fuck, man?
Right. Yeah. You can't make any mistakes, and you better have that money. So, yeah, they're not helping anybody. It's a racket. It's a very profitable racket. All right, back to this Us movie. Beyond the racist stuff that I saw in it, these people did everything that you're not supposed to do in a horror film. I mean, every cliche that ever existed.
Oh.
And I don't want to give away too much, but I will say that there was one scene where instead of, like, just getting the person away from you and taking off, the lady went into the woods to make sure the person was dead or to see how they were doing. You don't do that. If you have something chasing you and you kick its ass into the woods, and you have a car, you get the hell out of there.
Right, you got to go.
Yeah. So I found it to be very cliche and very unrealistic and unbelievable. It made no sense. And of course it has this us against them, thing to it.
Right. Well, I hate to hear that.
Sarah said Ma was really good, so I'm gonna check that out. But for right now, I'm not feeling Jordan Peele, and I'm kind of gonna grudge on him worse than I do on Franco.
Well, as you know, I haven't seen this movie yet. I probably will watch it in the next 24 hours if it's on there, and see what's doing with it. I read a couple of reviews that said it was really good, but then I look at the numbers on it, and it's not doing all that great, So I don't know.
I'll say this: the casting was good, the acting was, they picked good actors, and they did a pretty good job because it was a complex role.
Right.
Because it's obviously everyone knows this much. It's us, so it's like one person has to play two characters.
Right.
And I think they pulled that off. The acting was okay. But they weren't given much to work with. So now A Star is Born. Did you finish it?
I did finish it. Yes.
Did you like the ending of it?
For me, it wasn't so much about the story, but it was just that the acting was really good, I thought. And
yeah, Lady Gaga was amazing.
Yeah, she was just wow.
Right?
Wow.
Like, let's see more of her in movies.
Yeah, I would watch, if she made a movie about drag queens in Philadelphia, I would probably watch it.
Well, she made a movie about drag queens in Tennessee.
I mean,
and we watched that one.
Wherever, you know what I mean? I would watch that shit just because she's that good.
Yeah, and I think she's beautiful too. I don't care what anybody says. People call her ugly and all kinds of stuff. And I don't see ugly when I look at her at all.
No, I think she's beautiful.
Especially since she's stripped down a lot of the craziness of her youth. The meat dresses and all that kind of, stuff.
Hey, but you know what? It got her where she is. And
yeah, for sure. And, she has all these fans she calls her little monsters. And now she has, other fans, I'm sure, because I've always been a fan, but I'm a huge fan of her acting now.
Right, I'm a huge fan of her acting. I don't really listen to much of her music. Although there's that last album she put out, she put out an album about that was just like stripped down songs and stuff. I've been meaning to check out.
Check out some of her stuff with Tony Bennett.
Yeah, I bet that's good.
It's beautiful. She has a beautiful voice. Well, this movie Us has really lit a fire under my bouquet to finish writing our horror movie.
Right.
Because if this is what they're churning out and people are saying it's great, then I want a chance to show what I can do and what, our concept was.
I think it's pretty good.
It's original.
I've not seen it.
Well, I haven't written it yet.
I mean, as far as like, it's not a rip-off of someone else's idea or any of that. It's an original concept.
And our characters are going to be smart in their action. And it's in their actions, it's too easy to just have someone trip. Or have someone run upstairs. Or have someone, like, in the cabin.
In the cabin.
Yeah, hide in the cabin or whatever.
Jesus Christ.
In the stateroom.
If I see one more person run up the fucking stairs, I'm gonna give up on the genre.
Well, I mean, just this movie had every stereotype you could think of it as far as what not to do, what, bad horror flicks have in it.
I'll tell you what I'm hopeful about.
Let's come up with some solutions that are new and like, whoa, yeah, that person did the right thing.
I'll tell you what I'm hopeful about. People are split on this, but they're doing a third movie. Rob Zombie is doing it.
Oh,
it's called Free from Hell.
Gratuitous.
It's going to be the Firefly family.
That is just gratuitous, gore, and disgusting. Like,
I'm excited about it. It's
mindless.
It's going to be a prison movie. Or an escape from prison movie.
There's going to be so much mindless violence in it.
It's going to have some blood and guts. But
can't you be smarter than that, though?
I mean, you need a good smattering of that.
Yeah, but you don't need it to be so gratuitous and cheap.
I mean, some people want to see it, Gia. Some people want to see a merman.
I don't know. Some people want to freaking eat gas station burritos, and I guess I'm just the type of person that would rather go to the freaking Crow's Nest and have a nice steak.
And I'm gonna tell you, these people had some gas station stuff, and they had this pot roast on Thursdays. Good God!
Are you defending gas station food to me?
I mean, you'd be a fool not to buy this every Thursday.
Hey, I had the idea for Postmates.
God,
before that came out.
That shit was so good.
Yeah, and it would have been the same concept.
Right.
Home-cooked food delivered to stoners in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Oh, damn it.
My business partner flaked out on me at the last minute. Nothing like writing a business plan and putting all your time into it just to have somebody flake on you. And she was the money side of it, so, whatever, her loss, because now we are on Blunt Force with Giazilla Rawrr.
Right, and Wade Rawrr.
Wade Rawrr, who comes to the party 25 minutes late.
Well, better late than never. Like I said, I was at a safety meeting, it got cloudy. That's what we used to call it at work.
That's ridiculous.
We would all go smoke a joint at break, a safety meeting.
What was your work?
I
hope you weren't driving buses or something.
No, I was an asbestos.
Oh, that's even worse.
Worker.
You're there working with toxic hazardous materials and you're all high?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great.
I mean, it's a lot of, we wore respirators.
Did you wear your gear every time?
Oh, no.
So I'm going to have to call that mesothelioma commercial one of these days.
I mean, yes, I wore my gear every time. And still, I'm afflicted.
Well, I hope you don't get the miso. Unless you're getting it at a restaurant.
Yeah.
What else can we talk about? I've already bitched about that movie. And the pharmacy being shitty.
Well, I don't know. Let's see. What other movies have I seen lately? Oh, Eric and I discovered that neither one of us had seen any of the Bourne movies.
Jason
Bourne movies. And we watched the first one, and it was pretty damn good. And then we started the second one, and we fell asleep on it, but it was because we had eaten that big meal.
Right.
Itis out
You guys itis
a
out.
little bit, but those seem to be some pretty damn good movies. I know I'm a little late to the party on that, but
Well, you like that, like John Wick and all that kind of stuff.
we are big fans of John Wick.
Have you guys not seen the new one?
We have not. It is on my movie site. We've been threatening to watch it and just haven't yet.
You know what I've been watching lately?
Hmm.
Taxi.
Oh, what a great series, man.
I just, because I haven't seen it in so long, and I used to watch it. I used to watch the reruns of it with my dad when I was a little girl because we weren't allowed TV. So I was like, I don't know, however old. But I never realized, as a kid watching that, how smart and before its time and how heavy the issues that they dealt with every week were.
Right.
And the acting is just superb.
Yeah, all those people were good.
I mean, the only person in the first season who's not that great is that blonde guy that they end up checking later on.
Yeah.
But, Danny DeVito, man, he got all the best lines.
Yeah, he's great.
He was great.
Louis
He
De
was
Palma.
like, there was this one scene where this guy was beating a dog in the cab, and Alex, I love Alex Rieger, he stole the dog and brought it back to the garage. And so this rich, snooty owner who, thinks he could do whatever to whoever, comes in and he's like, I know my dog's in here, give me my dog. And everyone's like trying to hide the dog. They're like, what dog? I don't see a dog. And then Louis comes down and they're all, Louis, do you see a dog? And he was like, oh, there's something in my eye. I need a $1 bill to clear my eye. So someone hands him a buck and he wipes his eye and he goes, I don't see no dog. Slime ball just straight out the gate, man.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. I always say that Eric's introduction to cannabis was just like Reverend Jim.
Oh, yeah.
It really was the same kind of a deal. He had never smoked cannabis or anything, or eaten any edibles ever in his life. And
Right.
he was actually quite opposed to it. And we were at the dentist, and we both had to get an extraction because our baby teeth stayed longer than they should have.
Mm.
And I think he was like 18 at this time. And my friend Alice is in the car with him while I was getting mine extracted, and he was anxious. And it was right when I first started selling weed to dispensaries,
Mm-hmm.
and I had met this guy at a dispensary because they weren't going to pay me. And I went in there, and I was like, you're going to fucking pay me. And it got ugly. And there was this chick in a purple, scrub outfit.
Uh-huh.
And she started getting all lippy, and I was all, sit down, Barney. I'm like, you aren't going to pay me. Because basically what happened was this redheaded kid and I were working together. And then one day I showed up, and he was gone, and there were, like, these big old freaking, like, tattooed dudes. And this, like, Mexican chick and this, like, white chick there. And they were like, oh, he no longer works here anymore. And I'm like, well, it's Thursday, and I need to get paid. And I think I brought them like a half pound, and they owed me like, I don't know, $2,000 at that time.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to pay me. So anyways, long story short, this guy follows me out after she paid me. This guy followed me out to the parking lot, and he introduced himself, and he was like, wow, he's like, you are tough. And I'm like, it's money,
Right.
So he said that his daughter was disabled and that he was making edibles for her. And he gave me a couple of edibles, and we exchanged numbers and all that.
Right.
And I had never made my own edibles at this point yet. And so I had those in the car when we were at the dentist.
Yeah.
And Alice tells Eric, eat one of these or eat a half of this, and it'll probably calm you down. And he was like, Jim Ingutowski.
Mm.
He became the biggest stoner pothead.
He ate that brownie and it was off to the races.
It was like he finally had relief in his brain for the first time in his life.
Right.
So.
No, I love what it does for him, man. I hate it that he has to sit there and just constantly smoke the way he does, but...
Well, now he's got the vape pen, and he's doing the oils, which is better for him, I think. And I'll be growing for him, so we'll get him some good strains, but I thought it was super cute when we were forced to go to the club for the first time in a decade. and he was trying to figure out what the amounts of everything was, and he was like, "Well, how much of a mason jar will you know?"
Is that?
I was like, "The lid,"
Right.
because he's just been getting jars full of pot since
Here's
even
another.
for the last decade.
Right.
Oh, yeah, so we're on the hunt for clones, you guys. If any Californians around the Sacramento or Santa Cruz areas have any clones or cuttings of nice strains that you would like to help us out with, give me a bro price.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, because I still don't have my clones yet, and it's getting pretty late, so I'm gonna have to buy some big ones to make up
Right.
for it. But and knee high by July, still got time.
It's true.
Well, we got 2 minutes, Wade.
Well,
What you got to say about it?
gee, I don't know. I hate to harp on it, but Jesus, man, that whole medical thing for you is just shitty, and I'm sorry, and it was hard to watch,
Thanks.
and I'm just tired of that too. Really, honestly, man, I'm tired of sitting and watching people that I love and care about have to suffer, behind their medications and shit. It's dumb. It's so dumb.
I didn't, I knew it was going to be a problem, but I understood the logic of my caregiver by saying, why should we have to drive 3 hours when if you go to a Rite Aid there's a Rite Aid less than a mile from us. And your doctors are the same doctors. Or you didn't get this from a new extra outside doctor. Like, why can't they all work together for
Right.
for a one-time courtesy? Because you're a sick patient. So, in the logic person's mind, that sounds right. But what they saw was someone's trying to pull a fast one on us, and she's on all these medications. And you know what? If I was going to die out of an overdose, it probably would have been back when I was on fentanyl and Oxycontin and all kinds of stuff. That was back when I had a life and
Right.
I could get up and do things. But that would have been not when I'm on this little piddly amount that I'm on right now.
Right.
So I don't really think they're concerned about us overdosing because the prescription rates are way down and the overdose deaths are way up. They just want everybody on Suboxone, which is dirty.
Right. Everyone I know that they put on Suboxone, and I know some people they put on it, several, say it's just dirty. It makes you feel some kind of way.
It does.
Where like, it's just not good.
Well, when they put me on the first Butrans patch, I woke up feeling like I was dreaming I was scuba diving and my tank failed. And then I had the worst headache ever. I mean, I immediately went to sleep after I put it on. Worst headache ever when I woke up. Kept feeling like I couldn't catch my breath. And then the next day I felt like I had more pressure and I was dizzier than usual.
Right.
But I was like, maybe that's just because we just changed meds. But then the next week when he told me to up it to that second patch,
Yeah.
and I fell asleep, had the same dream that I was drowning, and then woke up with my blood pressure and stroke range and was rushed to the hospital. I just thought, God, you guys are trying to say you want me to be safer, but you're hurting me.
Right.
You're hurting me with this.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks for saying that. It was really tough. I'm still in a lot of pain, and I wish the solution would be had low levels of medication for the last 3 days, so take an extra one. But that won't help me. That will just make me feel sicker and shakier and weirder. So I have to wait until things just become synergistic again, and I'm going to be in a flare-up whether I take more medication or I take less. This is where I'm at, and it's going to take a few days to work itself out.
Right.
So hopefully I won't have to go through that again, but the moral of the story is call, complain. And when you call to complain, be calm, be rational, be thoughtful, use very strong words, but respectful words, being assertive If you're emotional, you can show that. I don't like showing it, but I definitely cried a few times. I mean, you're going to cry when you're feeling suicidal and helpless. So stand up for yourselves, and I guess that's all I have to say about it.
Right on.
It's going to be with me for the rest of my life. So this was just another round of bullshit.
Jesus.
I'm glad you got to the doctor the other day and got antibiotics for your tooth. We missed you.
I did.
Michelle sat in for you, but we did miss you.
Geez, man, it's kind of a rough one for teeth on me. I lost the one, and then the other one flared up. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, we're going to get you weighed, and we'll get you all new choppers.
Gotta do it, man.
Get all veneers and all that stuffs. All right, you guys.
All right, see ya.
Have a good night.
IPMNation.com.